Welcome back to Grow Joyfully. Today we're going to make some French bread. I'm very excited to share the recipe with you. This recipe is from Mel's Kitchen Cafe. So it's a fairly straightforward, easy recipe. You combined 2 1/4 cup of warm water in a large glass, 2 tablespoons of sugar, and 1 tablespoon of yeast. And then you let it rise right in that glass. So our yeast has already risen, and we're going to put that in my stand mixing bowl. And then all you have to add is 2 1/4 teaspoons of salt and 2 tablespoons of oil. I use avocado oil. And we're just going to mix that up a little bit. And then you just add the 5 1/2 cups to 6 cups of flour. I'm going to start with 5 1/2 cups of flour. So this is 4 cups. We're just going to place all of that in there. And then we have 2 cups in this measuring cup, and I'm just going to add 1 cup there. Well, I have a 1/2 cup left. So let's take it to the stand mixer. Now we just want to incorporate that. The dough is definitely too dry, so I'm going to add just a tiny bit of water because I think this wants to be a fairly sticky dough. And then you end up with a sturdy, soft dough. I'm going to need a little tiny bit more oil into the dough to get the consistency that I want. It's a sturdy and it's a soft dough. It's time to cover it up with some saran wrap. Now we're going to let it rise. I'm also baking a chicken, so I've already washed the chicken off and I've patted it dry. I'm going to put it in oil and butter and brown it on all sides. Okay, I have browned the chicken on both sides, and I have used onion powder, paprika, and savory herbs. I've also used salt and pepper and Lowry seasoning salt. Now I'm going to add 2 cups of chicken broth. I'm going to turn off the top of the stove, and as soon as it cools down just a bit, I'll pop the lid on and put this cast iron Dutch oven in the oven on 375. Okay, the chicken is in the oven, and I'm going to bake it for at least 2 1/2 hours. To the cooked pasta, I am adding 1 cup of mayonnaise, a teaspoon of Worcester sauce, 2 teaspoons of sugar, some salt and some pepper, and some apple cider vinegar. I will put the full recipe down below in the show notes. Then you just stir this up and kind of let it set and marinate. And then we're going to add frozen peas, grated onion, raisins, apples, and bacon. And at the very end, you mix in a cup of shredded cheese. It's really a wonderful, wonderful salad. So here is the French bread. I'm going to make it in a round shape and cook it in one of my Dutch ovens. I won't have the cast iron Dutch oven because the chicken's in that right now, but we're going to use this. And then you can just take an egg wash. You just take an egg and beat it up really well. Add a couple tablespoons of water. And this will make it turn out to be nice and golden brown and crispy. Just like that. And then I'm going to sprinkle some everything bagel seasoning. Doesn't that look pretty? And after that, we'll just make a couple of cut marks in it to make it look more beautiful and to give it steam vents. And then I'm just going to put it in my Dutch oven and cook it for 25 to 30 minutes at 450. The chicken is done, and I'm going to take that out because I need the oven space. So you gather up the parchment paper and carefully pop in the bread, and then we will put a lid on it. We're going to throw 5 ice cubes in the bottom of the oven so that it will steam a little bit and make the crust crunchier. We're also having baked potatoes with our baked chicken, but with a twist. So for as many potatoes as you have, and when you cut them in half, I parboil mine for about 10 to 12 minutes, just so that it can get a start on the cooking, get rid of some of that starch, and be crunchier yet softer inside. And then you just add your favorite spices after you put down 1 pat of butter for each potato. So I'm using onion powder, Lowry seasoning salt, and garlic salt. So you just put that down on your pan. And you've got your butter ready. And I'm going to cook this in the hot oven at 425 with the bread. You take each potato and turn it upside down on your pat of butter. Looks like one of them fell apart. I'm sure the recipe called for the potatoes to not be parboiled first, but I seem to like it a little bit better when they're slightly cooked and that starch is off of them. You just place them face down on that pat of butter. And then on the back, you will drizzle a tiny bit of avocado or olive oil on the back, and then add a few more spices, maybe some salt and pepper, whatever you want to add. Gotta make everybody fit here. Okay, since I had one break, I won't quite have enough potatoes, but I guess I could put it on there anyway. So there we go, and then we're going to brush them with avocado oil. A perfect chef I am not, but a tasty chef I am. So you just brush the butter and the olive oil on the back of the potatoes, and then we're going to cook them in a 425 oven for about 20 minutes. We're going to come in and start checking them at 20 minutes. Because remember, they are partially cooked. They've been parboiled. That means just partially cooked. Okay, put a few more spices on them. I'm going to put some more Lowry seasoning salt because I love that stuff. And onion powder. And then we will pop them in the oven right beside the beautiful French bread that's cooking. I have finished the pea and pasta salad and it is refrigerating, so I'll put it back in the fridge. I'll try my best to get all these recipes in the show notes below, but 15 minutes before you're finished baking your bread, take the lid off so it can get really crisp. The potatoes came out beautifully. Look at them. Crispy and nice, yet soft in the center. And here is the bread, crusty and delicious. I hope you've enjoyed this video and watching me make a full meal. Thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you on the next video.